Good evening. This 34th day, Meaningful Moments, 365 days. So normally I do this earlier in the day, but I'll share with you a little story, and it just so happens that it happened at night as well. It was about 1 a.m. earlier today, and I woke up. And as I had mentioned to you yesterday on Meaningful Moments, I had some back pain, and it was sharp enough to wake me up at 1 a.m. And there I lay, right here, looking straight up in the dark, and knowing it was pretty acute at that moment. So I took a deep breath, and I positioned myself and went to work. And that moment where I felt that sharp pain while I was laying there in the dark, I just opened myself, opened right up to that meaningful moment, which was an inner listening to begin the work on my own body. And in that opening, it was all the years, all the learning that came forth. And I knew exactly what I had to do at that moment. And I had to listen more, and I had to be willing to breathe deeply into the pockets of pain that I was experiencing. Similarly to when I had my 4 home births, it was the waves, the undulations of pain. And other times that I've had to have surgeries, or I broke my arm and I healed it without having it in a cast. It's an attention and a focus to listen to the body. And I wouldn't tell anyone that this is what they should do. It's just what I needed to do in that meaningful moment. I'm a lifelong learner, have always been. I love to learn. And it was incredible to feel all those years, the culmination. It was like harvest time. Everything was ripe for the picking. And 2 hours, just like a midwife being with someone when they're giving birth, it was a process to just sit and work with the body that intensely, that intentionally, because I had to heal myself. So I took in those teachings that I've had. Some are about energy medicine. Well, it's really all about energy medicine. And worked with the spirit guides, the 4 directions, the physical aspects of where I could feel the pain in my body, and also the levels, not just the physical, but the emotional, and places in the energetic field where things are lodged and where that blockage was tight. And this isn't something that is really that unusual. People have practiced that and energy medicine for a long time in many different forms. Perhaps you worked with a chiropractor or a naturopath or someone who does Reiki, or people who work with just the biofields and energetic fields, the light body. There's so many beautiful practices out there. But in that meaningful moment, it was the learning. And I'm sure that each and every one of us have those moments where all of a sudden we find ourselves kind of in a fix, and then we go, what should I do? And if we're still enough, the learning that we've done, all of it comes to us, comes to our aid. You know, it's true that we only use a fraction of all that we're learning in the course of a lifetime. And before running off to try to get the answers outside of ourselves, it behooves us to be still and listen. Not that getting outside help is a bad thing, and oftentimes it's needed. But there are so many parts and pieces, especially as we're working through this time with those different types of unknowns, to just really be able to be still. And I think the biggest thing is not to be overrun by fear. So for all the healing that we're doing on every level, let all the learning, all the things that you already know, things you already possess within yourself, to come forth, to be ripe for the picking, that you may be healed, that we all may be healed. Aho.